fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conserved in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. America was founded with the belief that all men are created equal and are equal. It is because America does not treat all men equally, and my partner and I stand resolved that the United States federal government should substantially reform its electronic surveillance law. To provide clarity in this debate round, we propose the following definition. Definition 1. Electronic surveillance, the legal free dictionary, observing or listening to person, places, or activities, usually in a secretive or unobtrusive manner, with the aid of electronic devices such as cameras, microphones, tape recorders, or wiretaps. In order to establish a society that promotes equality and justice, the affirmed team proposes the criterion of equality. Since stock issues and net benefits are also taken into account this round, we believe the criterion should be the preferred means by which the judge weighs the different arguments today. Now that we have provided a few clarifications and a criterion, let's establish some background information to give you a good idea of the status quo. In the background point 1, the presumption of innocence doctrine. The presumption of innocence doctrine. The presumption of innocence doctrine is an idea that is very basic to America, especially in courts. The underlying idea is that nobody can be guilty of a crime until the jury provides a verdict. It is standard for American defendants to be treated innocent in court until they have shown to be otherwise. Now let's look at how the current system actually goes against their own standards through the harms. Harm 1. Bail or jail unaffordable. Bail or jail unaffordable. In the current system, the option of bail is provided, but often many people cannot pay for it, so they must go to jail. This is shown to be true by subpoint A. Innocents must go to jail. Innocents must go to jail. Open Society Justice Initiative, September 2010. On any given day, an estimated 3 million people are behind bars awaiting in trial. In the course of a year, approximately 10 million people will pass through pretrial detention. Many will spend months and even years in detention without being tried or found guilty, languishing under the worst conditions that people convicted of crimes and sentenced to prison. With 10 million impact unions innocents in jail, the money funding these jails, coincidentally taxpayer money, is being used to keep innocent people who cannot pay bail in jail. Subpoint B, which is of taxpayer money wasted. Taxpayer money wasted. In the current system, the money from taxpayers used to fund these jails is being wasted. We have an affirmation of this from Samuel Wiseman of March 2014. High pretrial detention rates do not only impose high costs on defendants, but also on the public. During the recent economic downturn, the cost of money bail to society has been raised as more practical rallying flag for reform. The American Bar Association notes that the taxpayer implications of pretrial detention are significant given the expenses of operating detention facilities, observing that New York City spends approximately $45,000 to a single pretrial detainee. We also see that there is so much money being wasted on incarceration that could be used in better ways. Samuel R. Wiseman of March 2014. They, the defendants, cannot work during the often considerable time that they spend in jail, leaving any children and other dependents to fend for themselves, and their jobs may not be waiting for them when they get out. Apart from their families, and the Attorney General has estimated the annual cost of incarceration to taxpayers is $9 billion. Billions of dollars are being wasted on unnecessary keeping of impact unions innocents in jail just because they cannot pay bail. We see a clear problem of harm 2. Unequal protection. Unequal protection. In the current bail or jail system, the rich individuals have more protection under the law than the poor do. But the wealthy can pay bail, whereas the impoverished cannot. Because of this, the impact union's defendants go to jail, but the rich defendants get to carry on with their lives normally by paying bail. This bias is proven by subpoint A. Rich favored. Rich favored. Albert Samaha, November 2012. Those unconvicted inmates are casualties of the bail system in which freedom is determined not just by a person's perceived risk to society, but by wealth to their name. It is an institutional flaw that has existed in America since colonists brought over the concept of bail from England, where it had been law for centuries. Subpoint B, which is 14th Amendment. 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, Section 1, gives the people the right to equal protection of the laws. But as we can see, in the current system, the rich are getting favored over the poor and having both options of jail and bail. Whereas the poor people only have one option, and that is to go to jail. The 14th Amendment reads that no state shall deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection protection of laws. We have seen that the poor people do not have the same protection of bail as the rich individuals do, which leads me to my impact 1, unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. If people are not getting equal protection, then it is a clear violation of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. The 14th Amendment provides each citizen with equal protection of the law. This protection is being violated in the current system. We cannot allow this to continue to happen. To solve the harms, we propose the following plan. The plan is to provide justice and affirm equal rights for all American citizens. Mandate 1. The third option. Add the third option of pretrial monitoring to the current 2 options, jail or bail in all U.S. state courts. Only the defendants are to be offered the ankle monitor. Mandate 2. The technology. The technology we will be using are OmniLink OM400, the OmniLink OM210, the Relialert XS, the Relialert XC, and the Trax Group Shadow. This list may be changed if any of the devices prove insufficient. Also, if newer and more advanced devices are proven to be equal or more advanced than the current list, then they may be added. Agency, Congress, and the President. Enforcement, Department of Justice. Funding, the money used for incarceration shall be redirected towards the cost of our plan. Our timeline is 1 year after the affirmative ballot. To stop many of Union innocents from going to jail, we should provide ankle bracelet monitoring for them so they are not in jail, away from their families and their lives. This saves money and time. Instead of having the affluent favored, there should be an equal protection for both of them. To affirm the equal protection of all American citizens, pass the affirmative plan, and promote equality. Thank you. And that will be cross-examination.
How many minutes was that? Do you remember?
I think about 7.
Okay, fine, thank you.
First off, just to jump right into the questions, do you believe that topicality is a voting issue in today's debate?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a card of evidence stating that pre-trial monitoring is electronic surveillance law?
That the ankle monitors?
I believe your plan is to implement pre-trial monitoring into the system.
Yes.
Do you have a card of evidence stating that that pre-trial monitoring is electronic surveillance law?
No, I don't.
All right. How will they decide if they're going to use the third option in court?
How will they decide? What do you mean? Like, oh, well, they will choose. The defendants are innocent will choose.
So basically the person who is being tried will choose whether or not he will be incarcerated or will be electronically surveyed pre-trial.
Yes, they can either choose bail, jail, or the third option, which is incarceration.
Did you present that in your mandates?
Yes, we did.
All right. How will they decide which device to use?
Whichever is more advanced and better technology.
All right. How will they understand which device is better technology, as there are many listed in the mandates?
Well, they would probably test run it. That's why we wrote the timeline of 1 year so they can, test run it and things like that.
All right. Can I grab a copy of the receipt?
Yeah, sure. We'll just...
All right. Do states already have pre-trial monitoring implemented in any way?
I believe not, no.
All right. Does the technology have any defects?
Defense, I don't think so, no.
All right.
We haven't tried this right now, so we haven't.
All right. No further questions.
7:72.